Hello and welcome. I want you to take a moment. Think about the last time you felt truly overwhelmed. The last time an obstacle seemed insurmountable, a problem seemed to have no solution, or a person seemed to be the source of endless frustration. Maybe it was at work, a project that was falling apart despite your best efforts. Maybe it was in a relationship, a painful argument that left you feeling misunderstood and alone. Maybe it was a personal goal that felt perpetually out of reach, no matter how hard you pushed. Or perhaps it was something entirely outside of your control, a global event, a sudden loss, a change you never saw coming. In that moment, what did you feel? Helplessness? Anger? Anxiety? A deep, gnawing fear that you weren't strong enough, smart enough, or capable enough to handle it. This is the human default. It is our ancient wiring, our limbic system screaming that we are in danger. And in the face of that internal storm, we often do one of two things. We fight frantically against the things we cannot change, exhausting ourselves in a futile battle, or we flee, we avoid, we numb ourselves, hoping the problem will just disappear. But what if there was a third way? Not a way to eliminate obstacles, but a way to transform your relationship with them. What if you could meet any challenge, not with panic and dread, but with a profound sense of clarity, resilience, and even purpose? This is not a fantasy. This is the promise of a philosophy that is over 2,000 years old. This is the promise of Stoicism. Forget the popular misconception of the Stoic as an unfeeling, stone-faced robot, passively enduring the slings and arrows of life. That is a gross caricature. True Stoicism is anything but passive. It is a philosophy of immense power, of profound action. It is an operating system for the mind, designed not to shield you from life, but to equip you to engage with life. All of it, the good, the bad, and the chaotic, with unwavering strength and unwavering virtue. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, who ruled one of the most powerful empires in history from the front lines of brutal wars, wrote his private thoughts in a journal now known as Meditations. He wasn't writing for publication, he was writing to remind himself of these very principles. He said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The former slave Epictetus, whose teachings were so powerful they were recorded by his student Arrian, put it even more bluntly. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. And Seneca, the statesman, playwright, and advisor to the Emperor Nero, who faced immense political danger and was ultimately forced to take his own life, wrote extensively about turning trials into triumphs. He said, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." These men were not armchair philosophers. They were men of action, living in tumultuous, often terrifying times. They faced exile, war, betrayal, and death. And yet, they cultivated a mindset that was, for all intents and purposes, unstoppable. They were not limitless in the sense of having superhuman powers. They were limitless in their capacity to endure, to adapt, to act with integrity, and to find meaning in the very struggle itself. This is what we are here to explore. This is your guide to building that same unstoppable mindset. Over the course of this journey, we will dismantle the core strategies of Stoicism, translating ancient wisdom into practical, actionable tools for your modern life. We will learn to see obstacles not as roadblocks, but as the very path itself. We will learn to tame the chaotic inner world of our judgments and emotions. We will learn to focus with laser-like precision on what is truly within our control, and to release with grace all that is not. We will build an inner citadel so strong that no external event can ever truly breach it. This is an invitation to freedom, not freedom from difficulty, but freedom within difficulty. the freedom to choose your response, the freedom to act with purpose, no matter the circumstance, the freedom to become, in the truest sense of the word, limitless. So, take a deep breath. Let go of what you think you know about strength. And let's begin. Part 2. The foundational shift. The dichotomy of control. The entire edifice of Stoic strength is built upon a single, foundational concept. It is the first and most important principle to internalize. Without it, everything else crumbles. With it, you have an unshakable base upon which to build your fortress. This principle is known as the dichotomy of control. It is a simple, yet radical idea. It asks us to sort everything in our lives into two distinct categories, two mental buckets. Bucket number 1. The things we have complete control over. Bucket number 2. The things we do not have complete control over. Now, this sounds straightforward, but the power and the difficulty lies in the ruthless honesty required to sort correctly. Our ego, our fears, and our desires constantly try to sneak things from bucket 2 into bucket 1. We desperately want to believe we control things that we simply do not. So, let's be clear. What goes in bucket 1? What do we have complete control over? The Stoics were unequivocal: our judgments, our opinions, our desires, our aversions, and our voluntary actions. In short, the inner workings of our own mind, our character, our intentions, our efforts. We control what we choose to think about an event. We control the values we decide to live by. We control whether we approach a challenge with courage or with cowardice. We control our own will. Now, what goes in bucket 2? Everything else. The weather, the traffic, the past, the actions and opinions of other people. The outcome of our projects, our reputation, our health to a large extent, the economy, global events. We can influence some of these things, certainly, but we do not have complete control over them. You can be the most careful driver in the world, but you cannot control the drunk driver who swerves into your lane. You can pour your heart and soul into a business proposal, but you cannot control whether the client says yes. You can be kind and generous to someone, but you cannot control whether they like you or return your kindness. This is the great source of human suffering, exhausting ourselves by trying to control the uncontrollable. We rage against the rain on our wedding day. We become consumed with anxiety over a presentation's outcome. We are devastated when someone we love does not act as we wish they would. We are trying to command the ocean's tides with our bare hands, and then we feel weak and defeated when it doesn't obey. Epictetus, who began his life as a slave and thus understood powerlessness intimately, drives this point home with stunning clarity. He opens his Enchiridion, or handbook, with this very idea. Some things are within our power, while others are not. Within our power are opinion, motivation, desire, aversion, and, in a word, whatever is of our own doing. Not within our power are our body, our property, our reputation, our office, and, in a word, whatever is not of our own doing. He immediately states the consequence of confusing the two. If you think that things which are slavish by nature are also free, and that things which are another's are your own, then you will be hindered, you will be lamenting, you will be disturbed, you will find fault with both gods and men, you will be disturbed. Isn't that the truth? The anxiety, the frustration, the anger, it all stems from this fundamental misallocation of energy. So, the first Stoic strategy for an unstoppable mindset is this: Practice the dichotomy of control with surgical precision. Make it a daily habit. When you feel a surge of stress, anger, or worry, pause. Ask yourself, which bucket does this belong to? Is my boss being unreasonable? Bucket 2. Their behavior and opinions. Am I choosing how to respond to their unreasonableness? Bucket 1. My judgment and my response. Is the stock market crashing? Bucket 2. The market. Am I making prudent decisions with the resources I have? Bucket 1. My actions and choices. Did I make a mistake in the past? Bucket 2. The past is fixed. Am I learning from it and resolving to do better now? Bucket 1. My current judgment and effort. The moment you correctly identify something as belonging to bucket 2, your relationship with it changes instantly. You don't have to like the traffic, but you can stop fighting it. You can stop pouring your mental energy into a battle you cannot win. You can release it. You can say, this is outside my control. My energy is better spent elsewhere. And where is elsewhere? Bucket 1. This is where your power lives. This is the realm of your freedom. By ceasing to waste energy on the uncontrollable, you liberate a massive reserve of focus, will, and intention to pour into the one thing you truly command yourself. This is not passivity. This is the ultimate strategic move. It is the mental equivalent of pulling your army back from an indefensible, sprawling border and fortifying the inner citadel. The outer world may be in chaos, but the center holds. The center is you. Your goal is not to control the storm. Your goal is to become the calm, unshakable eye of the storm. And it all starts with this simple, profound act of sorting. Part 3. The art of perception. Seeing things as they are, not as you fear them to be. With the foundation of the dichotomy of control firmly in place, we can now build the next level of our unstoppable mindset, the art of perception. The Stoics believed that we do not react to events themselves, we react to our judgments about those events. It is not the thing that happens that disturbs us, but our view of that thing. Between an external event and our emotional response, there is a crucial and often overlooked space. In that space lies our power to choose, our freedom. Shakespeare, who was likely influenced by Stoic thought, captured this perfectly in Hamlet der Morpabit. Your Epictetus. The you dithicant other criticizes something you did. Automatic judgment. The default. They are attacking me. They don't respect me. This is terrible. I need to defend myself immediately. F. Emotional and behavioral response. The consequence. Anger. Defensiveness. A heated argument. Resentment. This is the automatic unconscious pathway. It happens in a flash. But what if, in that space, you could pause? What if you could challenge that initial, often distorted, judgment? This is cognitive distancing. It's the practice of stepping back from your own thoughts and examining them as if they were objects. You are not your thoughts, you are the observer of your thoughts. So, the Stoic response would look like this. Event X. Your significant other criticizes something you did. The pause. A deep breath. A moment of silence. You create space. Cognitive distance and reframing. They have criticized my action. That is the event. Now, what are the possible judgments here? Judgment A. The default. This is a personal attack. Judgment B. An alternative. This is feedback, however poorly delivered. Perhaps they are hurt or frustrated. This is an opportunity for me to understand their perspective and to clarify my own intentions. Chosen response. The empowerment. Calmly. I hear that you're upset about what I did. Can you help me understand why it bothered you so much? Do you see the monumental shift? The event hasn't changed. The criticism is still there. But you have changed. You have moved from being a puppet jerked around by your automatic judgments to being the puppeteer, consciously choosing which strings to pull. This is the essence of what Marcus Aurelius called objective representation, or seeing things as they are. He constantly reminded himself to strip away the value-laden story he was telling himself about events. He writes in Meditations, "Don't let the force of the impression carry you away. Just say to it, 'Hold on a moment, let me see who you are and what you represent. Let me put you to the test.' Put it to the test. Is this event truly a catastrophe, or is it merely an inconvenience? Is this person truly evil, or are they acting out of ignorance, fear, or their own pain?" The Stoic practice is to describe the event in plain, simple, factual language, devoid of dramatic and emotional labeling. Instead of "this is a disaster," try "the project timeline has been moved up by 2 weeks." Instead of "my boss is a monster," try "my boss assigned me a task I was not expecting." This isn't about suppressing emotion. It's about preventing the emotion from being based on a faulty and exaggerated perception. By seeing the event for what it is, a neutral set of facts, you give yourself the room to apply reason and to choose a virtuous response. This skill turns anxiety into preparation. It turns anger into constructive communication. It turns despair into a clear-eyed assessment of the next right step. When you master the art of perception, you realize that most of the monsters you fear are shadows on the wall, cast by the flickering light of your own unexamined judgments. Part 4. The Inner Citadel. Cultivating an invulnerable core. We've learned to sort our world into what we control and what we don't. We've learned to insert a pause between event and reaction, to see things objectively. Now we must build the structure that houses this new way of being. The Stoics called this the inner citadel. Imagine your mind as a fortress. Most people live in a hut with paper-thin walls. Every gust of wind, every change in the weather, every passing comment from a stranger blows right through, causing chaos and discomfort. Their sense of peace and self-worth is entirely dependent on external conditions. When things go well, they feel good. When things go poorly, they feel terrible. They are perpetually at the mercy of a world they cannot control. The inner citadel is the opposite. It is a fortress built of virtue, reason, and purpose. Its walls are thick and high. From within, you can observe the storms of life, the criticism, the failure, the loss, the chaos without being destroyed by them. The storm rages outside, but you remain safe, calm, and clear-headed inside. So, how do we build this citadel? What is the mortar and stone? The building materials are the 4 cardinal virtues of Stoicism: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. These are not abstract ideals. They are the practical, daily exercises that fortify your character. 1. Wisdom, practical wisdom. This is the ability to navigate complex situations with sound judgment. It's knowing what is good, what is bad, and what is indifferent. It's the skill of correctly applying the dichotomy of control and the art of perception. Wisdom is built through study. through reflection, and most importantly, through learning from experience. Every time you pause before reacting, every time you choose a reasoned response over an emotional one, you are laying another stone of wisdom in your citadel's wall. 2. Courage. Stoic courage is not the absence of fear. It is the judgment that something else is more important than fear. It is the virtue of acting rightly in the face of pain, discomfort, danger, or uncertainty. Courage is saying what needs to be said, even if your voice shakes. It is standing up for your principles, even when it's unpopular. It is facing a difficult truth about yourself, rather than hiding from it. Every time you do the hard thing, the right thing, despite your fear, you are strengthening the gates of your citadel. 3. Justice. This is the virtue of our relation to others. For the Stoics, justice was the most important social virtue. It means treating every human being with fairness, kindness, and compassion. It means fulfilling your duties to your family, your community, and your world. It is recognizing that other people are acting out of their own ignorance and are struggling with their own battles, just like you. When you choose to be kind to someone who is rude, when you help someone without expecting anything in return, when you act with integrity even when no one is watching, you are not just being a good person. You are fortifying your citadel against the corrosive forces of bitterness, resentment, and selfishness. A mind focused on justice is a mind that is connected, purposeful, and strong. 4. Temperance. Self-discipline. This is the virtue of self-mastery and moderation. It is the ability to rule over your desires and aversions, rather than being ruled by them. It's about exercising discipline over your pleasures, your appetites, and your impulses. This doesn't mean a life of austerity and self-denial for its own sake. It means freedom from being a slave to your cravings. When you choose the salad over the junk food, when you choose to get up early to work on your goal instead of hitting snooze, when you choose to walk away from a pointless argument, you are practicing temperance. Each act of self-discipline is like forging a stronger piece of armor for your inner self. Your inner citadel is your true self, your unassailable core.